Hello my lovelies and welcome back to my channel. Today is day 4 of our little Lizard King Tofino Sew Along. Today we're going to be working on the skirt part. So we'll add the pockets, which are optional but also cute, so don't skip them. We'll add the pockets, we'll sew the side seams and hem the skirt. So all we have left to do tomorrow is just attach the skirt to the bodice and we are all done. So for today we're working with the 2 pieces of the skirt and the 4 pieces of the pockets. I went ahead before I started filming and marked the pocket placement. So the pocket goes 1 3/4 inches away from the top. So this is the circle, the half circle. So these 2 are my pocket placements, and the same thing on the other skirt. Side note, how adorable is this fabric? Oh, so cute! This is part of the foodie pre-order coming very soon at Backstitch. It is absolutely adorable and the colors are so vibrant. It's amazing. Okay, so grab one of your pockets and we'll do a few steps on the sewing machine and then I'll do the rest on the serger and I'll show you how. So you want to have your pocket laying like this with the pocket bag down and the straight edge to your right, and you want to lay it on top of your side. This is my marking that I just did, and you want to lay your pocket right here like so along the edge, and we will be stitching down with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. Let me take out the seam. You don't need to use a stretch stitch for this step. You can simply use a regular straight stitch because there's really no need for elasticity in the pocket itself on that part of the skirt. Make sure you backstitch at the beginning and at the end. So this is what I will be doing. Optionally, you can definitely stitch, sew around the pocket, each of the individual pockets with your serger, but it's neat so it won't fray. This is what it looks like. So we're going to be repeating this step. Make sure that the pocket is placed the correct way. So you want your pocket bag to be going down. And we will repeat these steps 3 more times. One more time for this skirt and another 2 times for the other skirt. It is definitely helpful to make your markings prior on all skirts so it goes smoothly. Keep the raw edges aligned. And the last pocket. Like so. Like I said in the previous days, the whole project can be completed on your sewing machine, but if you have a serger and a cover stitch, definitely utilize them to make your sewing easier. Now that you have your pocket stitched, you want to open up the skirt and place the two pieces right sides together. Aligning the side seam like so. And what I like to do is, well, you can definitely pin it in place. So what I like to do is come with my sewing machine and do a little V here. I'll show you what I mean, because it's easier to see it once it's done than to explain it. And since I'm using reddish thread, you can see it easy as well. So I'm coming about half an inch down to where the pocket starts, and then I'm coming on this side towards the pocket, and that's it, just about an inch or two. I'll show you right now a close-up so you see what I mean. Okay, so this is what I mean. Okay, so right here on this pocket, you see I went down about an inch and a half. This is where my pocket starts, so I'm half an inch lower than where the pocket starts. I went down and then I started sewing around the pocket another inch and a half. And that's it. That's all I'm doing on my sewing machine. You can definitely do it all on the sewing machine, but I prefer to use my serger. So because of that, I need to do this part with the sewing machine. So I'm going to do the same thing on the bottom. My seam allowances, my pocket seam allowances, go towards the pocket bag on both sides, so it lays nice and flat. And on this side, I'm starting from the pocket, and I'm doing the same exact thing, about an inch and a half in. Make sure that you go about half an inch up from where the pocket starts. I promise you it will lay a lot nicer than if you were to go right here. These are some of my tips and tricks. Okay, so let me snip this thread and I'll show you how it looks like on one side, and then we'll do the same thing on the other side. So this is what it looks like sewn. You see the little V here and V here, and that's it. This is not stitched together yet. We'll do that on the serger. So let's go on the other side seam, and we'll do the exact same thing. So I'm placing these right sides together like so. My seam allowances both go towards the pocket, and I'm sewing that little V, going about half an inch down into the pocket before I pivot. And again, I'm doing this with a straight stitch. I don't need the elasticity in that part of the skirt because it's a circle, so there's no stretching there. It definitely has a lot of positive ease. Okay, same thing on the bottom. Okay, and this is what it will look like on this side as well. So this is one pocket, and then there's this pocket the same way. Okay, so now I'm going to take you to the serger. Okay, so now at the serger we're going to be stitching all the way around the raw edge. See, all the way around the raw edge. When I get to the pocket part, I just slightly veer off because it's already stitched in that corner. It's already stitched, so my serger right now it's just to cover the raw edge. I'll show you how it looks like. So this is what it looks like when I've stitched and serged. Obviously I will give it a good press, but see, my stitching is right here, beautiful, and this is just so there's no raw edges where the corners are. Right here. Okay, so let's move on and do the other side as well. Oops. Making sure that the raw edges are aligned. Give this a good press to remove any wetness that there may be. So I will take you right now to the ironing board and show you how to start prepping your skirt for hemming super easily. Okay, so I took my skirt to the ironing board. See, I gave it a good press. None of the waviness is there anymore. It lays nice and flat. So now we're going to prep the skirt for hemming. And if you've watched yesterday videos, I'm pretty much going to be doing the same thing I did for the flounce sleeve. If you haven't watched yesterday videos because either you didn't feel like you need to, or you're doing the sleeveless option, so the sleeve video was not of interest to you, I will be repeating the same info in this one. So I'll show you how easy and quick it is to hem a circle skirt with no pins, no tapes, no clips, no anything. Just your two hands, the fabric that it will work for you, and your ironing board and machine. Make sure that you have a lot of water because we'll be doing a lot of steaming. I set my setting for our cotton lycra to linen, which is my hottest option. So that's definitely something that I encourage you to do. If you're using a thinner cotton lycra or bamboo or anything that's on the thinner side, a cotton setting would be enough. But for our cotton lycra that's a little heavier, I prefer the linen setting and with full blast steam ahead. So what I like to do is start on the side seam, and this pattern follows I believe 5/8 of an inch hem, so a little over ½ inch. I do eyeball it because I've been sewing for so long that I really don't need to. If you want to make sure that the seam that you're adding is the one you want, you can definitely measure it with a seam gauge. On the other hand, if I do ½ inch instead of 5/8, is no big deal. We're talking about a 1/8 of an inch difference. So eyeballing it definitely is the way to go if you ask me. So this is what I like to do. I start on the side seam and press about 2 inches to make sure that it's correct here, okay? So this is the part that gets me started. And then I move all around, putting my thumb under under the, so the thumb of my left hand goes under the hem, and with the index and the thumb I gently fold and tug a little bit just so it lays nice and flat while I steam. So always with the steam, see, I'm tugging right here and pressing, and with my right hand, because I'm right-handed, I go and press hard and steam. So this creates the memory hem on the circle skirt. And I do this all the way around. See? Yesterday was actually a little bit more difficult because the circle was so small. This one is a lot easier because it's a wider circle, which means the difference is not as big between spots. So as you can see, I tug a little bit and press. Not much, I don't stretch it, I just give it a little tug so it lays nice and flat when I steam it. And look right here. See, there's no pins, there's no clips, there's no hem tape. Have the fabric work for you and with you. So you don't need to add extra gadgets and stress. But my secret is this little tug, a little tug, to make sure it lays nice and flat. Almost halfway there. And you go all the way. Super, super easy. This is not something I usually have in my videos, but I figured it's easier to see it than to explain to you or just say hem your skirt. I wanted you to see with your own eyes how easy it is to hem a circle skirt. I know a lot of people have this concern. See, look, it stays by itself, nice and flat, no issues whatsoever. No puckering, no pins, just because I give with my left hand just the ever so slight tug when I fold it. So I go like this to fold, like this, and tug it. And here we are, almost back to where we started. And again, I eyeball it. If you're not comfortable eyeballing your hem, you can definitely use a hem gauge or start measuring, but I'm telling you, I don't know if it's worth the hassle unless you're like really at the beginning of your sewing journey and you need that. But you can see the eyeballing was correct because by the time I get to my beginning, everything is already folded. So there we are. We've made it to the other side, and this is it. So right now we're going to take this to the cover stitch. In my case, if you don't have one or you don't want to use it, you can definitely bring your skirt to the sewing machine. So I'll see you in a second. Okay, we are back at the cover stitch. I have my beautiful unicorn mane thread from Wizardry Stitchery and Crafts in my looper and my 2 needles. So what you want to do is place your fabric. See, my ironed hem is already, it's staying beautifully. Place your fabric with the wrong sides towards the bed of the machine. And what I like to do, I like to keep my needle, my left needle, on ever so slightly on the outside of the hem. I'm using my finger to feel for where the hem is. So I know it's right here. So my needle goes a little on the outside and my right needle is definitely on. So I just start stitching and make sure that you use your feel sense, your touch sense when you feed your fabric keep it folded. So with my right hand, I keep it folded. With my left hand, I feel for where the hem is. And simply feed the fabric in the machine. That is all I do. As you can see, there is 0 pins. The machine and the fabric do the work. I'm just guiding it with my other hand. Look, it looks absolutely gorgeous on the other side. If you're using twin needles, you'll be doing the exact same thing, only on your reverse side. Instead of having this loop from the cover stitch, you'll have a zigzag stitch if you're using twin needles. If you don't want to use twin needles, you can simply do a zigzag stitch, a pretty wide zigzag stitch, not too long but not too narrow, but a little wider zigzag stitch. This way you'll hem it super easily, the same way I'm doing it right now. Just make sure when you do your zigzag stitch, then the zig that goes this way goes over the or right at the edge of your hem on the bottom, and the other one goes on it. This way it covers nicely the hem. So not having a cover stitch or a serger should never stop you from sewing beautiful things. Having them definitely makes it easier, but not having them is not an impediment for you to not sew. From having stitched, having pressed, sorry. Super easy. So now I got to the beginning. I overlapped about ½ an inch, locked in my stitches, and this is it. Super easy. I hope I convinced you to not be afraid of hemming in the round, ever. It is just as easy as hemming straight. You've seen it firsthand. There you go, look how beautiful it is. Come on, focus. Alright, so see how pretty it is, the hem? It keeps wanting to focus on the stickers. Look, it is enclosed, it's straight, it's any waviness, like when you can see if you flip it, there's an ever so slight waviness that will disappear as soon as I go back to the machine and steam it. Fizz all around, and it is all done. It's gonna be laying nice and flat. And look at these gorgeous pockets. The pockets are absolutely adorable. And see how nice and flat they lay, because we've done that ½ an inch in portion. Nothing is peeking out, everything is laying nice and flat. Absolutely, truly professional work that you should be very proud to have achieved with just a few tips and tricks. Easy. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a steam press to flatten the edges again on the hem, and then snap a picture, which I encourage you to do the same, of your completed skirt. Post it in day 4 photo for your check-in for today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow when we'll be attaching the skirt to the bodice and bragging with all of our Tofino dresses. Talk to you soon. Bye.